2.
What if I told you you could increase your profitability as a trader by learning this fundamental concept that simplifies trading? Yep. Okay, bet. I got you.
And 3, 2.
What if I told you you could increase your profitability by learning this fundamental concept that simplifies trading? That's right. Today, we're going to break down market structure. This is truly essential for all traders. Now, once you learn this, it truly makes the game simple and easy. It now lets you start taking advantage of the market and not let the market take advantage of you. So many traders lose because they don't understand this. Once you grasp this whole concept, it puts you in another echelon of traders. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Listen, I want to make sure you become the best trader possible. So before we get started, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe and share this to somebody. And if this video truly helps you, make sure you tell us below and share it out. Let's get to it. Come on, boy. 40 folks. God damn it, boy.
I said it was going to add 1 second.
Come on. All right, so before we truly get on the chart, I want to just help you identify something. So here's what we know. The market moves 3 ways. So watch this. The market goes 3 ways. The market goes in an uptrend. This is a series of higher highs and higher lows. Then the market goes in a downtrend. What is a series of lower highs and lower lows. And then the market goes sideways. And this is called consolidation. This is when the market is almost just boxed off. Now, most people will tell you the market just goes like this, but that's not true. Consolidation can be an ugly thing, right? It can be tight or it can be wide, right? So those are the 3 ways that the market goes. But here's what I really want to get into. And this is the thing that's super essential before we get on a chart is I want to introduce you to this thing called, watch this, you'll see this, and this is called change of character, right? Essentially, it's when the market is shifting trends. It's when the market goes from an uptrend to a downtrend and you can see it, right? And so once you identify this, and that's what today's video about. Today's video is going to be about me helping you identify that. Because when you can identify that, what happens is, as traders, you can be in a trade, right? Watch this, and I'll give you an example. So you can be in a trade. Let's say you're in a trade that's doing this. And then what happens is the trade does this. Now, for most investors, you may get out of that trade because you think, oh, it's about to go down. But what happens is there's things that happen here, right here and right here, that this must go to in order to change the trend, right? And so because new investors get scared here, they sell and miss out on this, right? Most new investors sell because they have this theory of take profit, see profit, take profit. And a great trader understands that the overall trend is an uptrend. But inside of the uptrend, there are small trends, downtrends. We'll call these impulses. These are your impulses. Impulse, 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 impulse. That's when you have something going on in the market that is pushing the market up. And then you'll have corrections. Correction, 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 correction. Now, these things push the market down. Now, this is essentially, this is supposed to happen because no market just does this, right? So as an investor and as a trader, it is essential for you to start understanding these concepts. Now, I'll put it on here. Now, I want you to see this. This is the part that's going to be important for you. Now, we're going to get to a chart, right? I'm going to take you to a chart so you can realize, so you can see it. But before we get to the chart, I want to take you to the change of character. So here's what happens. Market does this. Here, stops here. Market market does this here, comes here. Market does this here, comes here. The market does this here, and then comes here. Then the market does this here, and comes here. So let's talk about something right quick. So right here is a VOS. It's a break of structure. Why? Because this is a structure that's going up, and then it broke down, and then it came back up. So why is this a break of structure? Because these candles will break this high. That's why it's called a break of structure. So anytime a candle breaks a high and goes to a new high, that is a break of structure. So now this right here becomes what? A break of structure. Why? Because it created a higher high. A what? Higher high. Are we making sense so far? So the next thing that's going to happen is this becomes a break of structure. Why? Because it created another high. Now, here's where things get real interesting at. Here's where things get really, really interesting at. You have this high right here, and then you have this downtrend, right? Now, here's the dope part about this. This downtrend right here, once it breaks this, it has now broken the structure to the downside, and that is called a change of character. Why? Because this downtrend has now broken this high. Now, watch this. It'll probably bounce and then come back down. Why? What has it done now? It has now created a what? Lower high. Does that make sense? So the reason we know this, it broke this high, it bounced up, came back down, now it's broken this high and created what's called a lower high, right? That is our change of structure, right? And I'm gonna show you this in this chart we about to look at, so it really makes sense to you. So market structure is either the market creating higher highs, creating a what? Uptrend, or lower lows, creating a what? Downtrend, or a sideways. Now, what we will say is this. When the market is doing this, and it's not taking out a new high or taking out a new low, I personally like to sit on the side because it's whipsawing. And then what we now have to do is we can now zoom in into lower time frames. That's for my day traders, my scalpers. I'm preferably a swing trader, deep swing trader, leap option trader. So my play is going to be 90 days out, 4 months out, 6 months out, 8 months out, 10 months out. That's preferably where I like to be at. That allows me to see the trend more. So for me, I like to look at the monthly so I can get an idea of what's going on. Weekly. Then I'll go to the daily. Then I'll go to the 4 hour. Then I'll go to the 1 hour. So these are, but my move's gonna be predicated off of those. So when you start zooming in more, you start looking at the 1 hour. Then some people go to that 30 minutes. Some people go to that 15. Some people go to that 5. And the ones that's really looking for a chase, they go to that 1 minute, right? So that's when you're going from a daily, and then you go from a daily time frame, and you go to a weekly time frame, monthly time frame, and this is where every candle represent that number. So I hope you got that, right? That's some real good stuff right here. So let's get into it. So what we're gonna do right here, let's look at a chart. So right here we're gonna look at Palantir, right? Ticker symbol PLTR. We are looking at the daily chart for Palantir. So essentially every candle here represents 1 day, right? Every candle here represents 1 day. Now, I want you to do something with me right quick that's important. And I realize that a lot of people don't do this when they shoot their YouTubes. You can look at me do this and you will think that you got it. But if you pull out your computer or your laptop or your tablet or whatever you're looking at, and you pull up the Palantir chart, and you pull up the daily, and you get to exactly where I'm at. I'm gonna show you exactly where I'm at. February 18th is where we're starting at. And if you track with me going from there, this is gonna make so much sense to you, because not only will you see it on the screen, you'll see it right in front of your face. So you're essentially gonna have to at least look at this video 2 times. The first time so you can see exactly what I'm saying. The second time so you can tag along with me. I've learned that will truly increase your learning composition when you're looking at this. Because when you reading it, you looking at it, and when you going along with me, it's something intimate about you taking in the information that way. So I would definitely like implore you to do it like that. All right, so let's get to it. So we're gonna start here on February the 18th, right? But right now the stock is 125, right? That's essential. We're gonna definitely look at that, right? Now, what I'm gonna entitle what we're doing right here is candle communication, right? Candle communication. This is gonna be central. So here's what we see. We'll go from 125. So essentially, let's start here. We see this gap up right here on high volume, right? And it comes from here at $93. So at $93 right here, this gaps up. No, it's $98, I'm sorry. And that's why I draw the line. At $98, this gaps up. I mean, it comes up, right? And from 98, we go up to this price, which is 109. Then we go up to 105. Now, here's what I'm gonna get into that's gonna be really, really essential, right? From 125, we go down to 109. Now, this is gonna be essential right here. Remember what I always say to y'all. Wicks represent rejections, candle bodies represent closure or confirmation, right? So let's get into it. So from February 18th, what we had this large red candle that came down. Now, this tells us that somewhere along the line we had a sell-off. This wasn't a sell-off, this was an execution. Right? But watch what we do here. Watch what we do here. From 125 to 109 was a huge sell-off. But watch this. At 109, this is essential for us. At 109, we tap the bottom of this green wick. Right? So remember what we said. Wicks are rejections, but candles give us closure. Now watch this. From 109, we come down to 98. Now what does that do for us? We broke this candle right here, this large green candle at 109. We broke that with this red candle right here that got us into 98. That tells us right now we are in a situation where the sellers are taking over. Now, this one red candle doesn't tell us that, but when we get confirmed by this green candle, this rejection, and then this rejection on this green candle, and then this on this red candle, tells us that we have now entered a new zone. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody? Right? But at the bottom of every collapse, there's a sense of silence. Now watch this. The $99 candle didn't bounce off the 98, right? It challenged the previous structure. So watch this. This right here, right? This right here is this red candle from 109 to 98 is challenging this green candle. It has to break this green candle to create a downward trend. If not, this really can be consolidation, because it can be a Y. Remember I told you consolidation can be wide and it can be tight. It can be wide and it can be tight, right? So here's how we're going to communicate with this. We see the 125, we see the fall. Now this wick right here breaks this candle. But remember, Wicks are only rejections. Candle closures, meaning a whole body of a candle, gives us confirmation. So that, and I really want us to see this. So from 109, which is what we next jump in at, we get this next candle that comes all the way down right here to about 94-ish, but it gets rejected, right? It gets rejected. But it passes up the two previous candles before it at 98. But remember, this red candle right here is what we call a spinning top or a doji. So that's a sense of indecision. The market really doesn't know where to go at. But what really solidifies this downtrend is when the next red candle breaks this structure right here. Oh man, that's good. When we break this structure, we have now solidified. The market has now told us we are going in a downtrend. So you might be like, well, Trap, all of that told us. It did in a way, it insinuated where we was going, but once it broke this structure, remember, this is a structure. Higher highs, high, 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 high. When it broke that, I like to say break the neck. I like to say BTN, break the neck. So when it broke this structure right here, not with a wick, but with a full body, we knew that they were in a downtrend. Because look at these two wicks. Come on, y'all. I hope y'all with me right now. I hope y'all with me right now. I hope y'all with me right now. We walking through this thing. All right. The next thing we need to understand is from here, we go down. All right. We take this downturn right here. So, well, Trap, what are we doing here? We are now creating lower lows. Watch this. Here's a lower high. Boom. Here's another lower high. Boom. Here's another lower high. Boom. Then we get another lower high. Boom. Now, we're going to stop right here. We're going to stop right here. Remember, I told you consolidation can be wide. And that's the part where I want you to get. So watch this. I had the 98 blocked off for a reason, because that's where this candle came at. But watch this. If we come all the way across right here. Now, mind you, we're looking at this in real time, so we don't know. But here's what we do know. We know that this 98 right here is where this red candle stops at. And here's what we do know. This red candle is at the bottom of this green candle. So here's what we do know. The market has to break, this stock has to break this area in order for it to go back to an uptrend. That's it. That's it. That's the one I wanted you to see. Well, Trav, how the hell am I gonna know that if I'm looking at it in real time? All right, it's how we look at it in real time, y'all. It's easy for us. Candle communication. This candle right here shot us up. This price right here is 98, 98.99, right? Once this downtrend came here, it was telling us, hey, we got action. But once we broke it here, we met it right here, and then we broke it right here. Once we broke it, that was a new break, change of character. Remember we talked about that? Change of character. Once we broke this 98, that insinuated the character had changed, or the structure had changed. This let us know we went from an uptrend to a downtrend. But I don't even be like, well, Trap, I can see that clear as day. Well, we always got to get this in the market. Confirmation is our best friend in the market, y'all. Like, we can get into the game of anticipation, and I'm not mad at that, but confirmation is always what tells you where to go at. So remember, once we broke this, now here's another way to think about it. It took, watch this, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles for us to get up here. It took 3 candles for us to get back to where we was at. Think about it. It took 9 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles for us to get the 125. It took 3 candles for us to get back to $98. And where did it break us at? Right here, on this line at $98. So once we broke that with a full candle, which is this first candle right here, this the one that allowed us to break it. Not with a wick, but with a candle body. A wick don't do nothing for us. Watch this. A wick right here on this green candle, it got rejected. Came down again, got rejected. It gapped down with a full candle body. That's what gave us the confirmation. Not the wicks, but the full candle body gave us confirmation. All right, so what do we get here? Lows, lows, lows. Now, this is the market struggling. Now they're trying to fight back. Now watch this. All of this, I'm about to show y'all something that's gangster. All of that is really consolidation until you get here. Now, here's the dope part about this. Y'all know I got a saying. I got a saying. You can't move right until you look left. Because once you understand left, it shows you how to move right. All right, so watch this. All of this is really consolidation. It's really, really tight. Actually, we'll go a little further. All of that is really consolidation. Man, Trap, that's going up and down, up and down. But guess what? When we talk about market structure, right? When we talk about change of character, until the price breaks this, we have not entered a new trend. Does that make sense? Until the price, until Palantir breaks this, up in here, it's not a new trend. Now, here's the thing. If it would have went further down than this and then came up, then we can say, okay, Trap, it's now breaking some older levels, so we can agree with that. Yep, it's broken some new levels. That's cool. But it goes from 98 to 66. Now, here's what happened. This creates a new low. This creates a new low. But watch this. From here, we get its uptrend here, and then we get its full uptrend here. Now, here's what the dope part about this is. This breaks this candle that pushes us down at 93. So at 93, we can start saying, okay, now if you're looking at the candle with me, if you're looking at this chart with me, you say, yep, I see it, Trap. I see the 93. So the 93 puts us in the middle of this body. Remember, candle bodies, not candle wicks. This 93, watch me here, on this long candle. Come on, bro. This is so freaking good. Watch this. Bro, thank you, God, for letting me get this. Watch this. This same candle is the same candle that solidified the breaker structure. Watch me here. The middle of this candle is at 93. This candle that pushes up, this green inducement, or this green push and green, the top of this wick aligns with the middle of this body of this candle, which signifies to us, hey, we got action. What confirms that to us is down here, we got volume. Price action plus volume is another way of saying we got confirmation. Come on, family. Come on, family. Just read with me and walk it. You're going to walk it down. We're going to walk it down. All right, so let's clean this off so we can see it really, really clear. So, all right, let's backtrack. Bro, I promise you, I just need you to see this. And once you see it, it's over. We're going to backtrack a little bit, because when I backtrack a little bit, it's going to make, I don't mind going saying stuff a couple times, because I know how I learn. Once I see it a couple times and say it a couple times, I'm like, ooh, it makes sense to me. So we understood that once this candle, we understood this large candle. Now, this one day, we understood this large candle. Now, we understood this whole move came from here, which was at $98, $99. Once this came down and challenged this, so this is a challenge, right? At 90, like, hey, yo, what's up? What we gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Once we challenged this, you see the wicks kept rejecting it. This green wick, it rejected it. But this green wick is also at the top of that candle. So this candle here becomes a pivotal candle for us. This candle here becomes a pivotal candle. Watch. This next candle, the next day, this same wick hits 98, but it cannot break it. Overnight, it gaps down, which means you had a full candle. Now, even when it tried to push up, it still got rejected. So it pushed it back down. So 98, 99 becomes a foundation for us. Now, we understood also that 93 was right here. This was 93. The top of this candle is 93. So if you're looking at it on your computer, the top of this candle is 93. No, the middle of this candle is 93. This is 99. Yep, come all the way across. Yep, 99. So here's what happens. Watch this now. If we take this and go all the way across, right? Now, mind you, we don't know none of this happening. We don't know none of this about to take place. Just from looking at market structure, we know for a fact that this 99 is essential. So, watch this. The market is giving us some more lower lows. We coming down, low 98. We get another lower low here. We get another lower low here. Watch this. The market tries to come up. So if you're a day trader, you're trying to get some of that. Guess what? It hits the 99 again. Let me look at my computer right quick so I can make sure. I want to make sure I can see that. Yep. It hits that 98 again. Right here. Comes back down. Now, here's what's important for us. Take that count. I'll sit it right here. All right. So we hit that 98, 99. We come back down. Right? So that 98, that 99 was a pressure point. They had shooters right there. It tried to bounce up to the 98 again, got shot back down. Tried to bounce up 3 days in a row. 1, 2, 3, got shot back down. Now watch this. It goes to 66. Now Trap, this looked like this is all consolidation. All of this. All of that. It's still in that pocket. Remember what I said in the beginning. I said consolidation can be wide and it can be tight. Right? Sometimes it's tight, like maybe right here. Sometimes it can be wide, like right here. But unless it has a higher high and a higher low, or a lower high and a lower low, it's not a structure. Now, you may say, well, Trap, this is a high, low. Don't look at it as individual candles. That's why over here, I spoke to you in, this is called waves. Because inside of this waves, you have different candles. So inside of these waves, you have different candles. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to give you an idea. I'm about to do something that's going to be funny, but don't laugh. If I'm looking at this, here's how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. Bam. This is one wave. This is a wave. This is a wave. That's a wave. That's a wave. That's a wave. That's a wave. I'm going to come all the way up here to the wave. That's a wave. That's a wave. I'm looking at that different. I'm looking at this in waves. Where most people mess up is they look at each candle. Oh, this candle did this. This candle did that. This candle did this. Don't look at it like that, family. Don't look at it like that. right? Because you're gonna be confused. You're gonna confuse your darn self looking at it like that. All right, let's get back to where we at. Y'all, man, we trapping right now. We trapping. Let me know we really trapping right now. Let me know we really trapping right now. All right, let's get to it. Structure. So here's what happens. We get back to here. Now we create this low at 66, right? And then what do? We get another push up right here, which is good. You're like, hey, this is a 3-day process right here. Now watch this. This is essential. Right here is a level. We broke this level right here, which is the 90s. We broke that level. This is what we separate traders from spectators, y'all. We broke this level, and then we broke our 98 level. Watch this. The same way from here we gapped down, look what we did right here. We got consolidation, and then it gapped up. And that's what took us above a 98. So now we are back in, well, now trap, we in an uptrend. You know why? We got a high, we got a higher high here, then we get a higher high here, but watch this. Then we get this candle right here. This is the most essential candle, the candle that puts us right here. Why is that the most essential candle, trap? Because it broke our 98. Watch this. Not with just a wick. It broke our 98 with a body, which gives us confirmation. And what I mean by that is, it didn't just do this as a wick. It did this. Wick, candle body. Which means a candle body is confirmation. A candle wick is rejection. So I'm always mindful of rejections. So then what's the next thing? Now, remember, you got to look left in order before you move right. So watch this. At 109, what do we see? Another high. Watch this. Now, we've broken this. We've broken it with another one. And then what do? We getting higher highs. We break 125. What do? We get a high. Then what happens? We get a rejection. We get a rejection. We come down. Hear me here. We come down. Now, this is not an uptrend until we do what? Break this high. What do we do here? We break the high. What do we break it with? Not a wick, because right here we try to break it with a wick. We broke it with what? A candle, which gives us what? Confirmation. Now, let's get real interesting right here. We have this long inducement to the downside. Now, this is what I'm going to tell y'all that's important. This is essential. You have a long engulfing candle, and then you get a candle in the middle. That's called Harani, pregnant candle. Right? So watch this, the current price. Here's what we want to look for. Because this gapped up right here in the middle, we want to just watch it. What I will be looking for, me personally, is if it breaks, not this, but if it breaks this. Reason being, my uptrend is here. My uptrend started from this candle. If it breaks this candle and comes here to 120, we know in my mind from 130, you might be like, Chad, that's a big old downtrend. But that gives me confirmation. So I'm not the type of person that looks for every little candle. I'm the person that if it starts to hit another candle and it gives me break this 120, I know for a fact that we are now in a downtrend. And if I was in a long play, I can either sell my long play or also play this down play like that. So what if I told you the market always tells you the truth? It doesn't just speak language that most people have never been taught. It speaks the language of those who understand the candle communication. From 125 to 166, the market didn't just fall, y'all. It changed hands. But watch this, from 166 to 143, guess what happened? the market reclaimed a certain amount of territory. And once we understand that candle communication, once we can understand that market structure, higher highs, lower lows, once it breaks a high, that's when we can say it's in a downtrend. Once it starts creating lower lows and lower highs, we know it's in a downtrend. Once we see that the market is going sideways, but remember, sideways can be what? It can be wide and it can be tight. But if no higher highs are created in waves and no lower lows are created in waves, then we know it's just consolidation. And we need to let the market do what? We need to let the market confirm. So all of this right here, y'all, was really consolidation. If you look at it now, if I take everything off the screen, I'm going through this because I really want y'all to see this. If I took everything off the screen, here's what you have. That's what you have right now. If I really took everything off the screen, you got this. That's what you have. You're not counting every candle. You're counting in waves. Here to here, uptrend. So watch this. Impulse. Correction. Impulse. Watch this. Now this is not a correction because it broke this. So this is a change of character, and this becomes the impulse. This becomes the correction. This becomes the impulse. And then it changes right here. So now, change of character. This becomes the impulse. This becomes consolidation. This becomes the impulse. Did that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope y'all got this. This is so impulse, correction, because this is the move, the trend that is in. This is a correction. Then this becomes an impulse. Now, if it would have stopped right here, watch this. This about to be good. If it would have did this, this would have been a correction, and this would have been an impulse. But because it didn't do that, it did this. That's what made it a change of character, and then this became the impulse. A correction, this is about to be good right here. A correction is just when the market is shifting gears from the current movement, right? So if the market is in a current uptrend and it drops down and then comes back up, watch this. But the drop down doesn't, oh my God. And the drop down doesn't break. See, if this was the high. So if this would have just did this and went back up, this would have been just a correction. But because it did what? Created a new lower high. Because it created a new lower high, it became an impulse. Man, I hope y'all like this video, man. Listen, bro. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. My goal is to just give you so much value to where you start understanding how this game was, right? This wasn't just as a chart. This wasn't just me showing you a chart right here, y'all. This was me showing you war. This was me showing you how there's a battle always being fought between buyers and sellers. And now I want you to speak the language of those who survive. So look, if this hit different for you, if I want you to put in the comments, man, I see it, Trap. I'm talking that talk, Trap, right? I want you to drop that in the comment, man. Also, let us know how we can help you get better at understanding this. Let us know some stuff we can help you with in the chat, in the comments. Let us know, man. We just want to give you value because we want everybody being able to see this game and speak this language. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Make sure you like, subscribe, salute. That was good, Cam.